Welcome to the stream, Mr. Andrew Branca,
A new
Law
friend
of Self-Defense.
Hey, this is where all the cool kids hang out, huh? This is the
Hey,
back
Andrew,
of the bus
it's a new
here.
friend.
Apparently.
Tell us about yourself. Who are you?
Yes, attorney Andrew Branca, Law of Self-Defense. I do self-defense law, and that is all I do, everything I do all day long, especially during these high-profile trials.
So we've got this is like the guy.
Everything we know is wrong.
This is the guy. Yes. So you've been watching the trial. You've been writing about it on your blog, lawofselfdefense.com. You've also been live tweeting the closing arguments. What's your read on what's going on?
Well, I mean, the whole thing's a travesty of justice. Obviously, the evidence is overwhelmingly consistent with self-defense in a trial where the state has the burden to disprove self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean, it's not even a close call. And so that's why you see the state flailing around like this. I mean, when they go to attack self-defense, there's really two ways to do it, right? You can attack the element of defense, disprove any one of those elements beyond a reasonable doubt. You've disproved self-defense, but that's really impossible on the evidence in this case for any one of these criminal counts. So if that doesn't work, you can try the backdoor approach, which is provocation. If you can prove provocation beyond a reasonable doubt, then self-defense is off the table. You don't have to worry about the elements anymore. But their evidence in support of provocation is laughable. It's this hocus pocus focus picture. And the one witness who might be able to testify as to provocation at that moment by the cars at the ambush site is Joshua Ziminski. And of course, the state was very careful to put him on ice with a pending arson case that gets delayed endlessly so he can assert his Fifth Amendment rights whenever he might want to be called, or the defense might want to call him as a witness in this trial. So it takes him out of play. And if that's all the evidence you have on provocation is this ridiculous photograph and this drone video that even the judge looks at again and again and again and again and can't see what poor Assistant DA Krause claims is so obvious and apparent, that's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt by any measure. So then you get to the third avenue of attack, which is just the rhetoric, which is just, poor judgment, basically. The poor judgment. We can't have 17-year-olds with rifles going to riots, and he just made a poor decision. He lied about being an EMT. I mean, none of these things are criminal charges. I mean, he's not charged with lying about being an EMT, or he's not. Thank God we can't be criminally charged for poor judgment. I mean, as a guy with an ex-wife, trust me, that would be bad. So there's nothing here, and I don't think even the prosecution has any reasonable expectation of convincing 12 jurors of guilt. At least if we have anything resembling a fair and impartial jury. But what he might get is one juror who is not willing to vote for acquittal. And yeah, if he gets that, he gets a hung jury. Normally, I would say a hung jury is a win for the defense. I mean, most of our, criminal defense, you're doing criminal defense. Most of your clients are criminals. And, if you get a hung jury, at least they didn't get convicted that time around. So that's a win for them. But this is not the typical criminal defense case. I mean, a hung jury here is a theft of a just acquittal from Kyle Rittenhouse. And Prosecutor Binger will be happy to prosecute this kid again and again and again until the end of time, until this kid is ground into dust. So they need an acquittal.
In what respect? I assume that people...
just admit this is a left versus right issue?
Political trial. And
Binger just admitted it was.
He just said it's a political trial.
A person's particular politics and determine that person is going to evaluate the evidence one way or another.
Okay, I'll move on. Well, the prosecutor...
No, we're not going to reassess. We're going to march forward. We're going to throw it into the hands of 12 people from the city and let them do our work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a political case.
There you go.
We can take politics out of it as in Democrat and Republican, but the district attorney's office is marching forward with this case because they need somebody to be responsible. They need somebody to put and say, we did it. He's the person who brought terror to Kenosha. Kyle Rittenhouse is not that individual. The rioters, the demonstrators who turned into rioters, those are the individuals.
I learned that I'll never win. Not that way. That's their game. Their rules. I'm not going to fight them. I'm going to fuck them. That's what I know. That's what I am. And only by admitting what we are can we get what we want.